Hi, it's Xanthe. I'm just going to add this light again because it is a very grey day again. The colour that I'm wearing is close to magenta, and it's deeper. It's pretty close to straight out of the tube quinacridone magenta. I'd say would be the closest rather than a red. I'm going to put a little bit of makeup on. So I've got this foundation here which I thought that I would just try and adjust. So I've got this one which is close to my neck colour. It's a little bit yellowish, but it's a fraction light. So it's a Maybelline Lifter Plump and Glow 118. I bought another like Maybelline one to mix with it, but it turns out it's got lots of alcohol in it, which irritates my sensitive skin. So anyway, it's a no-go. But I got this discontinued, I think, Revlon Gel Serum Blush. It's in 1110, I think it was called Enchanting Mauve or something like that, something mauve. I've already done a few tests with it just to see. I'm just going to decide whether I'm going to apply this combination or I'm going to apply mostly a stick foundation today. So if I mix these, that's the colour by itself, which is pretty close. I mix a little bit of the mauve in. It just neutralises some of the excess yellow in there. So it's pretty close, I think. So we're going to try that because I can compare it with this other one, which is Essence in 160, but I usually find it better if it's mixed with another one which is a little bit yellowish in colour. So why don't we try using the mixture today. So what we're going to do is just mix them together, and then we're just going to use a brush and apply all over just to even out the skin tone a little bit. So we're just going to mix it together with a little bit of that just to tone down the yellow. It might end up still being a little bit light. Some people say mix a little bit of bronzer in, but I think that sometimes the bronzer just ends up being, I don't know, just looks like matte on my face sometimes. Try that, and if it's not light, if it's not dark enough, then we shall try a little bit of bronzer as well. That should be alright. I mainly use foundation just to smooth out a little bit of hyperpigmentation, just to kind of make my complexion look a little bit less blotchy. So it kind of seems like it needs a little bit more colour down around here, the chin area for some reason. Maybe if I'm just going to try a little bit more in some areas. So that's pretty much what it looks like as a blush. It's very soft. So we just kind of mixing together. It just looks a little bit, for some reason, a little bit ashy on my chin area. It seems to work alright everywhere else. It's sort of going on a bit like a, yeah, just like a tint or a serum really. It's not like huge amounts of coverage or anything. I'm not happy with the chin area, so I'm just going to wipe that off mostly. That's the colour there. Put less on, I think. It's better. Often less is more. So it is barely there, like yeah, barely there. A little bit of concealer under the eyes mixed with a little bit of peach colour corrector. So this is Revlon light to medium, because the medium was too orange, way too orange. So we just want to be able to control how much we tint it. So I'm using the NYX corrector with the dark peach. Just going to mix them together and apply. So even though that doesn't match my skin, what it can do though is just tone down the darker areas under the eyes. That's the whole idea. Well, in theory anyway. I might go in with a little bit of the yellow, this one here. So in comparison, this one's more yellow. Just put a little bit of that. Just put it in this area. It's really annoying, this kind of lighting, so I sort of see a patch that's not blended properly. So, you know, I'm sort of working in the shade, but so I put a bit of light in the corner here. I'm going to use a little bit of this cover stick essence. It's in the colour Matte Sand. I find this is useless under the eyes, but it can be quite alright if you just wanted to tone down anything in the other areas. Just to kind of smooth out any hyperpigmentation poking through, just kind of minimise it a bit. It's very close to my skin colour, but I find that it's just too heavy under the eyes. Put a little bit of powder on. I've only got 2 powders, so I've got this banana powder Revlon. So I'll just use a little tiny bit. Just like to use a small fluffy brush for the eye area. So I've got hardly any product under my eyes at all, and just sort of ready to go. Now, I tend to find that blush and lipstick make the biggest difference for me, so I tend to do those before I do my eyes usually, because then I can gauge how much, you know, eye product I want. So let's put the lipstick on and then we can gauge the blush. So I'm going to use this one, Porter Please, Revlon. Lips are feeling a little bit dry. And I'm going to apply this a little bit over Cherries in the Snow over the top. This one's too bold on me by itself. I'll just show you the different swatch. Use this hand. So this one here, sort of like a muted purple. This one, or a red purple. This one here is more of a fuchsia, but it's very bold. It is kind of going with the top, but I think it's too bold on me by itself. So when I dab on the lipstick, it sort of puts less on than swiping it. Now, and then I blot it, it's less likely to get on my teeth as well. So let's just put a little bit of blush on. So let's just show this what this particular one that's called Mauve looks like on me, since Mauve is all the rage. So it looks like that out of the tube, because the product is more mauvey. So that's the product there. So the mauve is kind of purplish but muted. So we're just going to put a little bit on. It doesn't actually show up that well on my kind of muted sort of beige olive complexion. It's very subtle, but if that's what you want, it could work. So what I've done is I've mixed that with the foundation, which sort of just neutralised the yellow in it a little bit, because at times I can look like I've got quite a lot of yellow. So let's just let that dry down and then put some eye makeup on. I often like to put a base of a cream eyeshadow, so I've got this one, Revlon Colour Stay Praline. I think it might be discontinued, but it's just kind of quite good to put on the lid area, I find. Just pat that on. And then I've chosen some eyeshadows from Chi Chi. Most of my eyeshadows are Chi Chi. I think they're an Australian brand. This is the Romance palette. I like the eyeshadows because they're a good price and they're very pigmented. So I'm going to go in and use some of these softer kind of ones at first. So just something like these ones here, just to kind of put on this area up here. It doesn't have to be exact match as long as it's just kind of, you know, doing what you want it to do. So just want to, because I have what's called hooded eyes, unless I've got, sometimes my eye droops, I don't know why, but it's just probably when I'm a bit too tired or something, one of my eyelids decides to droop a little bit. I noticed when I take a selfie, I can't actually feel it, I just noticed it when I look back. But anyway, I usually have hooded eyes, which means this bit here usually sort of covers my lid, unless the lid is drooping a little bit. So I put a little bit of a medium neutral sort of up in this area up here. Then I like to put a darker or a brighter colour kind of on the outside of the lid, just the outside edge. So it's a little bit of depth and definition, and then I like to just underline as well with eyeshadow, just what I like to do. And then I like to put a little bit of highlight on the middle of the lid, so nothing fancy, doesn't matter what colours I use, it's usually what I do. So then instead of going with that pinky one underneath, I'm going to go with the with this neutral again underneath, just so that it's not too bright, and also so it doesn't look like I've been crying or something with the pinky kind of colours. So just to add a little bit of depth to the area. It doesn't show up very well in this lighting, but my eyes are actually a hazel to a green kind of colour. But they often just look dark and need a quick lighting. The lighting's usually quite dim in this area. So then what I'm going to do is just, I'm going to go for that kind of, this is slightly warmer and slightly cooler. I'll go for the slightly cooler one. So my colouring is considered to be neutral, or supposed to be warm leaning neutral, but I quite like wearing cooler neutral colours as well. And just thinking if it's a bit bright, if I need a bit more definition. I reckon we could go into some blues a little bit. This is another Chi Chi palette called Maconas. This is a whole different range of different blues. I was just sort of wondering about one of these darker blues. That one's sort of greenish and that one's sort of violet. The violet one goes better. So I think, so let's just grab a finer brush so we don't overdo things. I'm going to go for this one, which, I just don't remember which one it was. It was definitely that one, wasn't it? Yeah, that one. Which some people would call a Prussian blue. It's sort of got a little bit of red in it. I'm just going to use that to underline. Yeah, I think that works better. I reckon I could even just add a tiny bit to the side edge as well. And just remove all of that. See, it's so pigmented that I only just put the tiniest amount on. It makes a difference. And I'm going to use a little bit of shimmer. We'll go for the slightly pinky goldy one. Just put a little bit in the middle like that. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to just soften the edges a little bit. So we're aiming not to look like a clown. You know, so some of these colours are quite bold on their own. Like if I was to apply them full strength, for example, I'm trying to use a finger that hasn't got makeup on it already. It's quite bold, and that's just touching once, and then that blue was really dark. So that's how dark we could go if we wanted to, but I'm not going to go that dark. I'm just going to apply a little bit of mascara. I've only got this brown by Natio, it's a tubing one. Usually only put one coat on. I've never actually worn false lashes. One time when I tried to, I just ended up just gluing them to my fingers, so it was a complete fail. I haven't attempted it ever since. And also I don't really like it if I can feel things. Like even mascara took a while to get used to, and I find the tubing one more comfortable than your regular mascara. I guess I kind of, if I want to feel like I'm wearing no makeup at all, I'll skip the mascara even. I'm going to go for just a little bit of definition with the eyebrows today, even though I wear glasses and usually can't see my eyebrows anyway. So I'm just going to use this NYX Lift and Snatch. It's in Espresso. So it looks almost black, but it's not black. And it's very fine, so it's just adding a tiny bit of extra definition, just to sort of where it's a little bit sparser. I don't personally like the very thick blocked out brows that just stand out more than your eyes. I don't like that look personally. I know I can just add a little bit more of a blush. So we've got Chi Chi again, Dusty Rose. If I'm wearing a more cooler kind of colour, I tend to go for that one. So we're just going to put a little bit over our very subtle mauve, and the rest of our face. And that's pretty much it. So that's the finished look. I'll just show you different lighting so you can see. So just bearing in mind it is a very grey day. It might look a bit brighter with the you know, brighter light this direction. So I try to put my makeup on with the natural light if I can, but it's still an inadequate natural light. I'll just take my hair out. Just put my glasses on. And my glasses are actually a dark brown, which I found very versatile. And my hair, I've washed my hair today. I had greasy hair yesterday, which I didn't have time to wash. So we've washed my hair. This is pretty much my natural colour, though I have been putting in it occasionally a chocolate, which is my natural hair colour, a chocolate, a semi-permanent without developer or ammonia or anything like that. It just fades back. So it's, I think the last time I put one in was about a month ago. So just sort of, I think that for me that's the plan, you know, to sort of avoid any harsh lines with, you know, only the odd silver strand kind of coming through at the moment. But what my hair's been doing sometimes is just fading a little bit. It's usually quite dark, or sometimes what it does is just has some little bleached patches just from the sun, incidental sunlight, and I just think that that just looks a bit really strange on my hair. So the idea was with the chocolate, he's got a bit of blue pigment in as well, just to kind of just even things out a little bit and just add a bit of richness and depth. Avoid anything with, you know, just anything that's going to be really obvious, like just stay close to my natural colour as possible. I think that should be, you know, and I want my hair to be healthy. Oh, so the other thing I did today, which I also did last time I washed my hair, was just put a few drops of rosehip oil in and just sort of massage it in, and then before I wash it, so just, especially because it's so drying here in the winter. Thank you.